call the Ellis County Commission meeting, February 10th. Before we get started, I would like to say our treasurer, Vern Reuter, lost his dad, so everybody keep them in their thoughts. So, okay. We can all stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bobby, you can call roll, please.
Commissioner Nathan Liker.
Here.
Chair Neil Younger.
Present.
Commissioner Michael Burgess.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Order of business stays the same, unless there's any. Okay. No change?
No.
Okay. Everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yeah, minutes look good.
Okay. The consent agenda. Everybody good with
Yep.
that, or is there any?
I'll move we approve consent agenda items A through G. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Any issues from people not on the order of business? Okay, the monthly financial report.
Look good.
Anything? Okay.
Yeah, no comments. Look good.
Okay, we'll move on to the employee service awards. Jennifer?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Jennifer Taylor, Ellis County HR. And as we begin, when I call your years of service award level, if you could stand up and line up on the wall, we will have you walk up this way, collect your award, and then I do ask that you please remain here. We'll take photos by the vending machines. So, each February, the Ellis County Commission gets a chance to recognize the employees of Ellis County who reach a 5-year milestone of employment for the county. This year, we recognize these milestones that were reached in 2025. Before we begin today's recognitions, I want to take a moment to acknowledge what these celebrated milestones truly represent. Each employee we recognize today has chosen to commit years of their professional life to serving this county and its residents. That commitment shows up every day through steady work, trusted experience, learned knowledge, and a willingness to serve the public with integrity. And to our celebrated employees, years of service matter. They reflect dedication, consistency, and the quiet work that keeps our organization running. On behalf of the County Commission and the entire organization, thank you for your time, effort, and professionalism you bring to your roles. We are grateful for your service and proud to recognize you today. So, for the 5 years with Ellis County, if you could stand up over there and we will call you up. I don't know if you guys want to stand up. Jeremiah Brown, EMS. Lori Dreiling, IT. Lucas Everett, Fire. Sharon Honeyman, Register of Deeds. Matthew Mayer, EMS. Wade Park, Sheriff's Office. Michael Purvis, Sheriff's Office. Jordan Silva, Public Works. Logan Unrein, Fire. Dustin Barnes, Sheriff's Office. Lacey Woods, Treasury. Brandon Zimmerman, Fire. For those celebrating 10 years with Ellis County, Mary Boucher, Treasurer. Monty Boydston, Fire. Sean Bird, Fire. Eric Haas, Fire. Dennis Johnson, Public Works. Ron Julian, Fire. John Kisner, Fire. Dylan Kuhn, Fire. Dustin Matire, Fire. Chuck McGinnis, Public Works.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Darren Myers, Fire and Administration. Amanda Shannon, Treasury. Eric Schmidt, Fire. And Janet Schmidt, HR. Celebrating 15 years with Ellis County, we have Brian Schmidt with Public Works. Celebrating 20 years with Ellis County, Wesley James, Fire. And Dustin Vine, Fire. Celebrating 30 years with Ellis County, Dustin Schubert, EMS. And celebrating 40 years with Ellis County, Kevin Beaker with the Fire Department. On the second part of today, we will recognize on behalf of the Kansas Association of Counties, we celebrate employees with 8-year anniversaries with the county that KAC sends certificates and pins for. So for the 8-year KAC awards, I have Mike Fields, EMS. Mike Freeman, Public Works. Jason Gershner, Public Works. Caden Grieve, Public Works. Rosa Reese, Sheriff's Office. Vern Reuter, Treasury. And Ron Wiesner, Public Works. For the 16-year KAC award, David Fitzhugh, EMS. For the 24-year KAC awards, Carla Harold, Health Department. Randy Newton, Sheriff's Office. Eugene Rupp, Appraiser. For the 32-year KAC Award, Mickey Dreiling, Noxious Weed. Jamie Summers, EMS. And for 44-year KAC Awards, we have Melvin Kinnerconnect with Public Works. Thank you all. So if I could have those employees that received awards go down the hallway, we will take your photos out by the vending machine. Thank you.
Okay, if we can have Mr. Jerry come up for DSNWK service agreement.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Sorry, got to adjust this a little bit. Jerry Michaud, Developmental Services in Northwest Kansas, and coming before the commission with our annual agreement. Something that we have done under the statute since 1996. I think we've come every year when the Developmental Disability Reform Act identified organizations like ours to serve as gatekeeper and for our region. So this agreement is similar to prior year agreements. It includes some of those legal references of that statutory connection between the counties. And although it may be routine that we're here, the importance of this agreement and the relationship that we have with the county, Ellis County, and then the remaining 17 that we're part of here in Northwest Kansas is very, very important. So we sent this out along with our audit that we do each year, and would ask again for the commission to sign their support of the work that we're doing and the arrangement and our organization's connections in doing the work and serving people with intellectual and developmental disabilities here in Ellis County. That was under 3 minutes.
Yeah. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the work your organization does. So, I guess, I'll move to approve the 2026 services agreement with DSNWK.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Very good.
Quick and painless for you.
Very good. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, the preliminary plat for Big Creek Estates, Justin.
Good morning, Justin Craig, Environmental Services
Morning.
Director.
Good morning.
So before you this morning is the updated preliminary plat for the Big Creek Estates Third Edition. It was sent back to the Planning and Zoning Commission to address several issues. Those issues have been addressed. There are a few requested variances for the development. Stand for questions, the developer, engineer here as well, if you have other questions that we can answer for you.
Okay. Go ahead. I was going to say, go ahead, Michael.
You go ahead.
All right, Justin, we had sent back a list of approximately 6 or 7 questions just to get clarification on, and you have some variances there. Would you mind going through those variances that you wish to bring
Sure.
it forth.
Sure. So some of on the list of concerns, there was the water well locations being 25 feet from the property line. On the plat that we sent out for the meeting, they did show those wells on there as being possible to be 25 feet from the line. In their updated plat, those wells weren't on there, but that's something that could be added to the final plat. I believe I sent it to Darren if you need to pull up the old one to kind of see those. The cul-de-sac the radius on that was changed to meet the 75 feet to match the county. All the lots have been increased to a minimum of 14,000 square feet. On the water supply study, just kind of going off the word of the drillers, and each well would have to be tested when they go through and permitted through us and meet KDHE standards. Some of the grades, the road would be built to county standards. Let's see. So some of these are on here twice. The frontages on some of the lots have been adjusted to match the required 100 feet. The lot lines were made perpendicular. Some of the multiple lots do have double frontage, which will be addressed with restricted access on the plat. That's one of the variances, I believe. They did put together a drainage plan, which is included in the materials. Airport was added to the vicinity map. They are in discussions with the Big Creek sewer system for their sewer. It will be a private street. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it'll be the developers paying to have that paved from Canterbury down to Logan Drive, I believe, and up into the cul-de-sac, but it will remain a private street. Some restrictions from Reservation Road. Trying to cover the service plan. So some of the variances that they're requesting is for the centralized water. All the properties out there are served by private well based on our definition in the regs of the centralized water. I think it fits our definition that's in our regulations. It can be up for debate. The double frontages will be restricted access, which will be on the plat. And of course, the water study is how do you prove that the water will be there.
Okay. As far as the variance on the water, it kind of went back to the water and sewer, where the centralized water and sewer were available or not available is where this variance comes into, correct?
Yeah, so to reduce the lot size to 14,000 square feet in a residential area, you have to have centralized water and sanitary sewer.
These will just have, the proposed is to have a centralized sanitary sewer,
Correct.
but not centralized water. It'd be independent waters.
Yeah, they'll have an independent water source.
Okay, and that is the variance being asked, is that they can do an independent water per lot and with the centralized sewer being part of this.
Correct.
Okay. I think that the only other comment I had received was potentially on the lot size, not, I think it goes back to the ETJ discussion of supposed to be larger lot sizes, I believe like around the 20,000 square foot area. I don't have that question pulled up on my notes right now, but that was part of the ETJ. This is no longer within the ETJ. This is fully county.
Correct.
And that's why we are entertaining the portion of a 14,000 square foot lot.
Correct.
I can speak to that.
Okay.
When we did our last development, the second.
You want to go ahead and state your name?
Adam Prey here, developer. When we did our last development, which was the second edition, we were a part of the ETJ. We did go through in front of the city and we did pass that development. So I don't think we had a variance on that one. We also didn't get a variance for the water. I wonder if that's supposed to be written that way or not. Speaking with a couple different folks from different counties, they just have a centralized sewer. The water's always been well, so we've done actually several in my career as a realtor, different properties where we've had, as long as there's either a septic on 3 acres or central septic, we've never had centralized sewer or water. And so I wonder if that's meant to be that way or not. So, but we didn't get a variance on the last second edition, so I don't know
Okay,
how that was supposed to go. So.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I believe the definition in our regulation says centralized water is a water source provided that serves two structures or two uses. So I guess it would depend on how, in the past, we've interpreted that as domestic lawn and garden.
Okay.
Depending on the definition you want to use.
Good morning. David
morning.
McDaniel,
Morning.
Chairman of the Joint Planning Commission. Just a brief statement here. Our meeting was on January 28th. All members of the committee were present. Our task was to address the concerns of the county regarding the Big Creek Third Edition Preliminary Plat PL 2542. The parties involved were all in attendance. The committee had a list of 20 points to address and potential variances, and I believe you have that in front of you. The committee addressed each point on the list with the developers, point by point by point, more than once. All committee members asked questions and needed verification of items. At the end, it was approved to send back to the commission the adjustments and possible requested variances. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael?
Yeah. Probably just rehashing some things, but first, thanks, Dave. I went to the zoning myself and have my notes from that meeting, and they did. I want to thank them for their having us send it back to them and them going through it, and they did. They went through it point by point, and I have my notes on each point that they went through. Some further clarification. I apologize if you already kind of explained this, but so the maps, the well locations, on page 23, they're not all shown, correct, currently?
Correct, yeah, this.
But for the
updated-
final plat, we will need to have them all shown, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you were, that's a requirement you'd like, they can do that.
And are they required each well then to have a 25-foot property setback?
Correct. 25 feet from the property line.
So for the final, we will need to see each one and that they're appropriately set back. So houses, so termite treatment, houses are not permitted to use chemical treatment, correct? Is that,
Yeah, I believe they're gonna add that to their,
and that'll be a restrictive covenant built into the,
yes, and it's also, it's number 5 on the notes on that, on the updated plat that they did send out, that houses are not permitted to use chemical treatment for termites.
okay. So, yeah, I'm going back to these property setbacks, so 25 foot, or is it 50?
50 feet
I got
from a
mixed-
contamination
mixed.
source.
Okay, so the setbacks are 25, but if there's a contamination source, they have to be 50 feet?
They would have to be 50 feet from that contamination source, so if
So
you were
will
treating
any
it.
of them need to be 50 feet, or can you?
I'll take that,
explain
Michael.
that?
So what we do is we do Centricon, so we don't chemically treat the ground.
Okay.
So therefore it's 25 feet. So if we were to chemically treat the ground, then it would be 50 feet. So you'll find on our plat, Michael, to answer your question, the wells are 25 feet from the house or further.
Okay. And then lot 30, that is the essentially empty lot, am I?
We don't have a lot 30. You're probably looking at lot 15.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, it most likely is lot 15. That is an empty lot.
30, yeah, I wrote 30, it's a lot. Okay. I wrote-
Yeah.
So lot 9 is the corner lot between Big Creek Drive and Clay Drive, right? And we have is there a setback for that lot of 30 feet along Clay Drive?
Yeah, it'd be sorry, it would be 30 feet for the front yard, and since it's on a corner lot, the side would also be 30, and then there would be the sight lines of 90 feet, which would basically be from the center where the intersections meet. Draw lines down the center, and that triangle that the ends of those 90 feet lines would make would be the sight line,
Okay.
so there couldn't be a structure in that.
Is that labeled currently? That'd be part of the final plat to make sure those are labeled on our setbacks.
Correct.
Okay. And then go over your double frontage again, restrictions or variances that you're requesting.
So we've got several lots that touch what we're putting in a road with the cul-de-sac in the middle, and then they'll have a back end. We don't have it on the screen now, but if you look where the would be Clay Drive, we're having restrictions to where you can't. Oh, it's very helpful. So right here, this lot has two different frontages, so we're putting restrictions on the back here. So where it's on just one, so that's the variance we're needing is for this lot.
Long reservation.
Yeah, you can see the
Would not have
restrictions.
I should have that one, I thought.
Can we, I'm sorry, Randy
it
Purdue
doesn't-
with Call Valley Engineering, if you keep going through your packet, hopefully, it's called out on what was submitted.
You know, page.
There we go, right there. So the gray is what we're calling our restricted access. That is around the outside of there.
So you can see the gray here, here.
Okay, and what that restriction would do then is the future homeowners would be allowed to access.
Yeah, if they put a
Correct.
driveway in here, that can't do it, like, so you guys have the consequences of telling them to clear it out.
Okay,
You can see the gray over here.
okay. So, yeah, that needs,
In essence, any lot that has access to Logan Drive has any other access restricted, and that just leaves a couple lots on the north side that we've given access to.
okay. And my other notes are kind of for other things, so negotiations with Big Creek, this might be a legal question, might be for you, is that something that needs to be finalized before we can approve? To know that you have access to sewer?
Bidding homes with Big Creek, we've never had to do that, so
Okay.
if you guys would like, we could get Dwayne or somebody on the phone, but we've never had to do it before, so I'd be surprised if we had to.
If we go through approval, can we attach, approval of the plat based on the finalization of centralized, sewer or sewer plans?
Bill Jeter, County Councilor, you could do it that way. Remember, this is still the preliminary plat stage, so it still has to
Okay.
come back for a final plat. And as the commissioners and the governing body and the ultimate decision makers, you can make any requirements that you want to, as long as they're reasonable.
Okay.
So if you're not comfortable with the notion that there may or may not be availability to use the Big Creek sewer, then you could require something more formal, or not.
Michael, I would tell you, we're $250,000 in on this project. I don't think we'd be that far if we didn't think we can get sewer, so, but whatever you feel is reasonable, we.
Yeah,
we will-
and they've got
it's
no
okay.
lots to sell if they don't have a sewer system.
And then Logan Drive is gonna be a private street, but the construction of it, is it at county standards, not, what are we?
We did it to county specs, and again, we were being questioned on the planning commission why we were doing the largest cul-de-sac out there. We're here to play ball, so if you guys want, we'll do whatever, what it is to county specs. There is gonna be a vote later to pave the entire neighborhood, so if that happens, it may become a county street if the vote passes, but for now, the plan is a private street, and it will most likely stay a private street unless something changes.
Please refer to note 2 on the preliminary plat submitted and stated as such.
Okay. Okay. Those are the questions I have. Thank you.
I just have a question on the 25-foot water well.
Yes.
If there's not water on one of them lots, is there something that we have that water well can be moved close away? Say, you know, somebody goes out there to witch the water well and you're gonna miss that vein by 3 feet, 4 feet. Is there something that you guys have in play?
We've
for-
got flexibility.
Okay.
So where we put them on the plat, if we need to, we can move them. I can tell you, Neil, we've drilled a fair amount of water wells. We've never had any issue. We don't witch them, we just punch. There's water down there. So again, we wouldn't be so far along on this project if we didn't have high confidence in water.
Thank you.
It is possible to apply for a variance through KDHE to make
Okay.
it closer, but it would be approved through this.
Well, I think they've addressed much clearer this time around with going back through the zoning and getting kind of line iteming everything. There's a few variances you're requesting. I think those are, at this point, we can certainly consider those variances. You've answered some of my questions, gave me some additional information that we can continue to address to make sure they're addressed by the final. So I'm going to move to approve the preliminary plat application for Big Creek Estates 3rd edition.
I would add on your motion that it's based on finalization with a contract with Big Creek Sewer Addition.
Like that amendment.
Just to clarify, Nathan,
Yes.
we've never had a contract before. What would a contract look like?
I guess I'm gonna say that you have some sort of letter of acceptance that you are
So
able
an
to tie.
email would work, or a text, something in writing?
Something in writing from Big Creek stating that you are going to be able to tie into this system.
Okay, so just something in writing, no contract, just some approval in writing.
Some approval that this addition is going to be put on in a centralized sewer put in.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, I will agree with that because they've got a counselor, so he could draft something up just because of that reason. I mean, yeah, I know.
Well, I just want to clarify.
Yeah, and
If we
that-
get an email says you guys are good to go, you accept that. Perfect.
Yeah.
And the lot sizes, we would not approve septic permits regardless.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I will go ahead and second
Okay.
with that amendment.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Okay.
Guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David, with the zoning, thank you and thank the board for doing the extra work on this.
Okay, Justin, Joint Planning Commission vacancy.
Yep, Justin Craig, Environmental Services Director. Just a quick public reminder that we do have a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Board. You can complete the form, I believe, with the clerk's office. It is in the agenda of the citizens' interest form, and get that back to us. And once we have some of those, we'll bring them to you and order an appointment.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank
and
you.
This, if I read this correctly, this position only runs through the 26th of June.
Yeah.
And it would be up for resubmittal.
Yeah, the term will end in June 30th, but they can be reappointed
Okay.
for
And
another
then
3-year term.
3-year terms. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the 2026 Public Works Summer Hours in Operation. Mr. Brandon?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brendan McKay, Ellis County Public Works Director.
Good morning.
Before you use request to change our summer hours, I did make a mistake on here. It wouldn't begin March 30th. It'd actually be April 6th because of Good Friday. That would just be changing our hours to the 10-hour days for the duration of that. For the projects we have upcoming, reservation road improvement and our asphalt season.
Okay.
It's Good Friday's the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
We have that all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
I have
We've-
none either. It's
We've moved to make it more flexible for Public Works to do
Fine.
this and give them more hours to do it. I
Yep.
think it's great.
It greatly helps us out to get our projects done.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. Okay, Community Improvement District petition, Mr. Darren.
I thought I put Brendan's name on this one, so I wasn't ready yet. But Brendan will probably end up coming up anyways. As the commission is aware, I'm sorry, Darren Myers, County Administrator. As the commission is aware, a couple weeks ago during your work session in late January, we discussed the CIDs and work development on the roads that petitioners may request to have their roads improved. And the current petition that we have is for the Stonewood addition or North addition up on Hilltop, northeast of Hayes. And within that is within your agenda is the attached updated, I guess, CID that has been put together by Gilmore and Bell, which Ty Wilson and Jennifer Teague, part of their homeowners association out there, have been working together with them to get it completed to this point. And during the work session, there was kind of three final items that the commission wanted to address within the CID for kind of some minimum standards or requirements, not just for this CID, but possible for any future ones that may be coming up following this. The first two I'll jump into real quick is the state statute says that 55% of the landowners.
Hey, Darren, I'm going to stop you for just a second. If you want,
Oh, I went to
you're
the
on the
wrong-
wrong page.
The first part of that CID that the state statute says that 55% of the landowners needed to be in the petition must sign it, and the commission had suggested at the work session that we include a simple 2/3 majority with the thought process behind that it would require more landowners or property owners in that CID area that's identified to sign the petition, since they are essentially forming an improvement district that would be taxes assessed to them for a period of time within the CID. So having a higher percentage includes that there's more people in favor of working on the project together and taxing their own land for that road improvement. The second part of it is that before a road would be approved to do such upgrades, that approximately 75% or more of the property parcels would be developed. Like if a houses would be built, or if it's a commercial lot development, that 75% of those lots would be built, for the reason that these are not necessarily solid surface type roads. And if you had a lot of construction traffic in there, pump trucks, concrete trucks, heavy trucks hauling in equipment, that they would essentially be tearing up that road that the landowners invested in. So protecting it until most of the lots are developed would protect their investment and not have damage done within a year or two after the roads be upgraded. And then the third, which I think is the one that the commission, with your individual conversations with us, with me, would be to discuss more what those minimum standards are for what you would like to see for what type of road development would be done. Previously, within the CID, as you can see within the agenda, is that the idea was to, over a certain amount of years and a certain amount of time in between, that 3 different seal coats would be put down. The thought was from the commission is to make sure, is 3 the minimum that you want for all future, for this one, but all future, or is it different? But then the question was also brought up that if our standard for county roads is on our 12-year plan, where year 1, roughly, you would seal coat it, year 6-ish, year 6 or 7, you would put a 1-inch asphalt lift with a seal coat, and then year roughly 12 or 13, you would seal coat it again, and that would just repeat on every 6 and 12-year cycle. So the thought was, if our standard was to maintain good roads, should that same procedure be used within the CID, so that way that their investment would be better protected, but also when the CID would expire in roughly 10 years, depending on what that CID would be, and the county took over that road, the road would be in essentially better shape, would have an asphalt lift, and would protect the investment of the landowners doing that. They don't want their road to fail no more than we do, and we want the project to be successful for their investment, but also for the time that Public Works would take care of it after the CID would expire. So with that, I know Brendan had some, I think there's some questions that the commission had for Brendan maybe to talk more about. And also, I'm sure between Ty or Jennifer, you may have questions for them. So I'll let it stand at that for any discussion.
Okay. Brendan, you want to come up?
Yes, sir.
So, and I understand what we're looking at and talking about. I guess I'm gonna ask you on the 1-inch lift, or the lift that was kind of described. Is that a guaranteed? We're gonna put, so nothing's a guarantee with our with a commission, because commissions can change and plans can change. But our current road improvement plan, or our asphalt plan, has that scheduled in. Is that meaning it's going to get the 1-inch lift, or it's going to be assessed, and if it needs the 1-inch lift or needs a treatment of another seal coat, that could be done in place?
With our current asphalt plan, is every 6 to 7 years, it gets a 1-inch leveling course lift.
Okay.
Providing a little bit of strength to the roadway and also smoothing out the ride.
Okay. But we have worked that in, that we are putting in that
With seal
lift.
coats, you can get up to 7 years. You can potentially extend it with crack sealing and other methods. But after that 6-7 year period, some form of maintenance need to be done to protect the base. Because that asphalt's a very thin lift. It's providing some strength to the ride, but really all the strength is in the base of the roadway. There's a beam underneath there that we create when we madconitize it, and we're trying to keep that watertight. Because if moisture gets into that, you'll get depressions, you'll get ruts, and that will bleed through to the surface.
Okay. I guess, would this be, not to parse things out, but would it be different on a straight highway that maintains 55-mile-an-hour traffic versus a rural development that is more or less a 30-mile and under?
Are you asking if just seal coats would be sufficient for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's going to be a different on how our roads perform.
Yes. If you just seal coat roadways, so there's unpaved roads, there's just native roads, which is just earth, whatever's there, nothing hauled in. And then you have unpaved, where we have our sand roads and our rock roads. And then you reach up to a standard that the county hasn't done in the past, which is seal coated roads. So it's not an asphalt road or concrete road. It's going to move, it's going to rut. Basically, it's an impervious surface, so there's no mud, no dust. Is that what we would do for a county roadway long-term? I'd recommend not. On our straight roads, for development, an asphalt lift in there for strength would help keep the ride better. But it's ultimately up to the determination of the three of you, how you'd like to see this play out. That asphalt lift would provide strength to the roadway and smooth the ride. Could you get by with seal coats? We haven't done it yet. I've talked with other counties that have, and they have in the past. But they also do treatments more frequently, or it's expected that the road's going to move. It's not going to be, they're using it as a dust control measure.
Gotcha.
Does that answers your question adequately?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a dust control method. It's something that we can't say we haven't done it, because we've done it.
We've done it on our straight roads. We haven't done it in rural developments with the turning motion on it.
And we've done it, this treatment that we're talking about doing, the double chip seal, we've done it on multiple miles.
Correct.
And
We
that have
intend to
gone
asphalt.
virtually untouched for a number of years.
About 7 years. Now we're going to asphalt lift them.
But we've got a stretch, a 2-mile stretch, I know, that's gone almost 20 years without an asphalt lift.
It was not 20 years ago, according to our records. I'd have to look back.
Okay.
It's at the end of its life. It's starting to rut quite badly, so we've done patching on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Feedlot Road, which was done in 1819 timeframe. There's considerable amount of patching that's been done to the roadway, and you can see the depressions from the surface.
And there's a considerable amount of traffic,
Correct.
heavy traffic.
Yes.
So we're looking at what these rural developments in general, we're looking at, there's going to be some development. I understand that, some truck traffic and some concrete truck traffic. But for the most part, it's just going to be passenger vehicles. So I don't know. I've seen a number of, I can understand adding the lift in, but I also see that might be a little bit above.
That's kind of, as I've thought about it, I guess I'd like to, I kind of want to see all three options just left in there and not necessarily make one option. I'll go back. I think we can agree pretty easily the 2/3 majority. I like that for the area and the 75% development. So
Absolutely.
I think we all three pretty much agree on that right off the top. As far as the road base options, I mean, kind of way it's lined out, I think if a development wants to improve the road, they can commit to a 3-year maintenance schedule, like Hilltop's doing. If it's 3 years, it's doing seal coats. If they want to do it, and then by the time they do their 3, in my head, then once it's turned over to the county, after that point, it would be on us to do the lift to get it onto our schedule. Whereas if they want a 2 maintenance schedule, they do a seal, but then the development's responsible for that lift. And now when it comes back onto our road plan, then we're responsible for the next seal. It comes back to the county a little sooner. It's probably a little more expensive up front, but that gets that road to our county standards a little quicker, and it gets over, then they turn it over to the county quicker. Whereas if you do a 3 seal, you're extending, it's probably a little cheaper. You're extending the responsibility of the homeowners a little longer before the county takes it over. And then that third option there, if they want to do a 4-inch asphalt or a concrete road, then it's going to be real expensive, but then they're not responsible for any maintenance. They've got the road already to the county, and the county can take it over.
I'll agree with your asphalt and concrete. That's just kind of a no-brainer there. I guess in my eyes, with the 2 coats versus the 3 seal, the 3 maintenances, it's that I think Darren did some math and some numbers, and it came out about equal of going to, 2 with the lift and then 1, 2 with the lift versus 3 seals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's the case, it pushes it up, but it brings it back over to the county sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Time frame wise, even with the two maintenance option, it still pushes us out 12 years. Well, the county wouldn't actually touch it until year 16.
Yeah,
that's when that would come back over on the county side. So that would provide a lot. I mean, I think it would spur a lot of discussion and go that route.
And then the one from Catherine going over to Cathedral, that has 2.
That has a double seal, and we'll begin an asphalt lift and a seal coat this
Okay.
upcoming year.
And that's pretty much like Mr. Liker said, that's a straight one, where this is curved, but the speed is
Higher volume of traffic, heavier truck traffic.
just old people are wondering over there, when do we get asphalt? So, and then the other one that kind of brings up is north of Ellis. What is that on the curve, the 2 different curves there? Is that a chip seal too with an asphalt lift?
Those have asphalt lifts in them and
Okay.
seal coats over the top.
Okay. And those are also a higher speed and pretty sharp curves.
Yeah, there is warning signs for speed reduction and curve warning signs along the roadway there.
Okay.
Advisory speeds. They can still drive it at 55 miles an hour if they so choose, but the advisory plaque is 35 and 45 miles an hour. That's the advised engineered speed for that roadway and curve type with the supers in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like leaving, like, Mr. Burgess said, leave the 3 options in there just in case, some, one of the other subdivisions is.
I guess the main thing is it comes back to is do we accept a double chip seal with 2 maintenances or 3 or a lift? Is the only kind of discussion point that we're really having, because anything above and beyond that is
Gonna benefit the county and
and with that being said, anything that taxpayers are willing to do to improve their area and work at, and that's going to it's going to improve valuations and overall.
The cost for materials, just materials for a seal coat, is just under $24,000 a mile, whereas the cost for that 1-inch lift and a seal coat is closer to $94,000 per mile, just materials, not labor, time, equipment use. So if you go with just the seal coat options, would we keep the road just a seal coated road and seal coat until it starts getting to the point where it needs to be ripped back up and relaid out? Or do we have it follow the rest of our asphalt plan where it would get an asphalt lift?
Right. And this is where we're kind of cutting our teeth on it. We don't know where multi-layered seal coats over years it's gonna. But I think
the road will not be like a highway smooth.
Yeah.
There will be depressions. There will be
Mhm.
slight potholing. There'll be water traps in it. That's the
But-
way to fix is to pothole patch or reclaim. Is that what the landowners are acceptable and the commission's fine with, or do they want it to be to the standard of our own county roadways, the straight line roads?
And that's what I guess I would worry about, is if that's the way the road condition after 16 years, now it's on the county side. If I lived in that area, I'd want the county to stick with their plan and make sure it's back up to that standard, instead of saying, as we've kind of had in past areas, like, well, we've decided, you guys put in a nice road, it's 16 years, and now the county has decided that we're not gonna take responsibility really anymore, and we'll just reclaim it back up and turn it back into whatever. And so that would be my fear, is, so we want these roads, once they're turned over to the county, to me, they should stick with our county plan. And then be maintained at that level, and again, they should keep that way, so.
Because the current miles that Ellis County has just seal coats on, they're intended to be treated as our asphalt roads and have their asphalt lifts on a regular basis. This, if we just do seal coats, this would fall into a different classification if you're wanting it that way, or it would be on the county's cost then for that larger expense.
And I guess from my standpoint, I don't want it treated differently in the future. I want it to be a part of that overall. Just maintain it at that point.
Like you said, our other county roads outside of the subdivisions have depressions in them, and we take care of them. So, and this will probably be, like you said, the same.
Yeah, I get that.
It comes at a higher cost to the landowners.
Yeah.
For the initial investment.
Right. But you said it before, we're building from the base down, and that's where it's important.
Just regardless of seal coat or asphalt lifts, the base has to be stabilized for it to support any form of lift like this or seal coat, for it to be successful. I mean, you can seal coat over a dirt road, but know that you'll be doing that every year just to control dust. So without a substantial base that we create underneath it, nothing on surface will stick unless you're short of 8 inches of concrete. And even then, you still stabilize your base just to give it that extra support so it doesn't break off.
So Nathan, what are you thinking? You're thinking
Well,
a lift should be in a part of it regardless, or?
I mean,
Or
I
just-
guess where my thought is if we're gonna, my personal thought is we do what we require would be the initial installation of a double chip seal and 2 maintenance seals on top of that. And I think if we're gonna require as a county, then the lift portion, then that would the people would more or less pick up, and the county would have to chip in after that. Or with
once
that,
it comes to-
you know, on the second seal coat, the county would have to come in because it's a 1-inch lift with a seal. It's not just a lift; it's a 1-inch lift with a seal.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do that, that's where I think maybe some shared responsibility between county and taxpayers would come in, but that puts it over on the county a lot sooner than doing just 2 maintenance seals and then coming back. It kind of prolongs us out. If we do 2 seals, if we do 2 maintenances after the initial installation, this is going to give us a lot of time to learn how these roads work and react. And I think this is where it kind of comes into, we need to lean on our public works to be out there on top of this to go, this isn't working. We're going to need to do the lift sooner rather than later, or these are working great. I don't think we need to do a lift.
So lift and, so a seal, you said is like $24,000 a mile or something.
Yes, sir. Just for the cost of materials.
So what's in the cost of just the lift, not a seal? So the seal, that you said was like 94,000 lift and seal?
$70,000.
70,000. But
For
the
the
seal
materials.
and then the seal would be the 24 on top, so it'd be like 94,000 total for that.
Yes, sir. Cold mix with our production cost is roughly 80,000 or $80 per ton at current costing. That's why
Okay.
looking out 4 years in advance with a 5% increase, that's why it's closer to the $84 a ton at that point.
It's approximately 4 times higher.
Yeah, if we were to just buy cold mix from the plant, you're closer to $100, but if we bring in the materials and pay mixing cost and oil and have it mixed with our regular batch, it lowers the cost considerably.
So would you think if the subdivision, again, paid for that upfront chip and seal, and then they do the next, 4 years later, they do another seal, 4 years after that, they need to do a seal, but the county would be responsible for the lift part of it, they would still pay for the seal?
Correct.
And then 4 years after that, would they still be responsible for a seal, or would that point?
I think at that point it would come back to the county.
I mean, the county is sharing in this too with the equipment and labor. I didn't look up the numbers for what it would cost for our equipment and labor to lay down the asphalt, but it's roughly $61,000 per mile, including the equipment rates, labor,
Mhm.
consumable usage. So that each seal coat cost material-wise $24,000, but labor and equipment usage is another $61,000 that you're giving to the development.
And that lift, I think, could probably be split amongst, I mean, I would think that would be a fair if we split some of that lift amongst the residents of whatever development and the county, you know, if they did a cost share on it. Because the county is doing the equipment and installation.
You know, and not only that, we're not going on there to grade the road. It's kind of
We're
take
s-
care
we're-
of itself. It's,
We're gonna save a lot of headaches.
yes. Like I say, I like the thing that you done over by Catherine. That's gotten a lot of compliments on it and with that lift, the asphalt lift.
You know, and a cost to the county, okay, well, you know, on maintenance, we take these graders off of grading 1 mile or, you know, 1 mile of road over a 2-hour period. That same blade can grade 6 or 7 miles. So we can increase our efficiency on other areas.
And I do agree with Mr. Liker on You know, we hired a project manager. These things need to be monitored and watched, especially on something like this.
We get into this, we're not working with just our tax dollars. We're working with, you know, people's
right.
personal, and they are personally investing into it.
That's maybe a little bit of a legal question on the CI. Can we do that with a split cost? So if we said you're responsible for the seal, if we were to do the lift part, the county will be responsible for half that lift, but the homeowners need to be responsible for the other half of the lift.
Well, again, you're getting into committing future commissioners. So I don't know how you would contractually commit now to do something in the future. Because
But what we can't
road
commit to is the
improvements,
type of
road
maintenance.
is always discretionary with the then current county commission.
But we can put together a plan with the type of maintenance that has to be there, right? Just not the cost or how it will be paid, or.
Well, you could put a plan together as to what this commission would like to see done in the future.
Yeah.
Can you actually commit a future county commission to spend the money and do it? No.
But if we accept, excuse me, but if we accept a CID petition, the county's then committed to doing
The
that.
county would be committed, yeah. That's right.
I guess, in a way, I guess I'd like to, split the difference. I guess if the county's gonna be responsible for that, I would like to see the lift come in at some point. So I guess from my standpoint, I think the second one, I would say that, yeah, the county can take care of the lift. They're part of the seal, but then I would, I guess, stick that, the subdivision, the homeowners would be, they're essentially responsible for 3 seals through the project. The county can be responsible for at least a lift during, like, whenever that needs to come. So that way, once it's sealed the 3rd time, if it truly is on the county, the next responsibility would be in our rotation of things, we'd be responsible for the next lift.
So I guess my question with that is, because thinking this through, because the one plan would be double chip seal installation, and then technically speaking, it would be required to do an asphalt lift on the next time it was touched. So
That's correct.
If it's gonna follow our.
if
current
it's going to
asphalt
follow
plan.
our
Plan, yeah.
correct, so it would take that it would take the lift with the seal on top of that. That would more or less bring us to an additional seal on top of that, or do we accept it as a county after the initial double chip seal and a lift installed, and then it's kind of on our county road projects? Because then our 3rd time is, all we do is a chip and seal. It does put it back on our county side a lot sooner going that route.
Yeah.
It still kind of coincides with the 12-year plan.
Mhm.
Unless the subdivisions decide to help us out on that part of it. So it's not all on the county when we do the 1 inch with the seal, because that's what he's recommending, so.
If you wanna keep it to county standards.
Because it will be ours, so.
County asphalt road standards, we could make just a seal coated road standard where it would just only receive seal coats till the surface got too rough that it had to be ripped up and then relayed back out with a double seal and start the process over, which could be 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road. We
And see,
haven't left one like that long enough to see.
that's where I'm kind of torn, is because one, we've never done it. We've seen a lot of it work. I mean, we've seen a lot of chip sealed roads work where you come in and just put on a couple maintenances, and we're talking buying 15 years of time.
Mhm.
And it allows we start putting the lift in, it puts us at kind of it puts a fairly high standard in, but I believe the law is, or the petition is, you can petition the county for any type of road improvement. We're just trying to set some standards that are workable.
If the county pays for that asphalt at the second cycle or the first maintenance cycle, it will impact our asphalt maintenance plan, because that would be pulling that amount of asphalt from the current county roads usage. Whereas if the development pays for that one, then it can be worked in out at a year 12 or year 16 or year 18, depending on which method you go with on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, asphalt roads require less crater time on them, but they cost higher because of the amount of time and labor going into them. And then you still have snow removal, whether it's paved or unpaved, so that cost does not change. That's why it seems cheaper to pave a road, because you don't have to touch it ever again. But the cost to go into creating that road, if you bring that out on the same yearly basis, it's still cheaper to keep a road unpaved and touch it more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
For county taxpayer dollars. The road would cost cheaper if it's unpaved. The road is cheaper to maintain if it's unpaved.
Like you said, they can petition at any time. I hate seeing our taxpayers go in there, because if not, we're going to be on every county road or every little bitty thing. So I guess we got to use caution there also, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because Brendan and his crew can only do so much.
that's right.
And we got a lot of
roads.
We've greatly expanded our asphalt plan, and that takes up a considerable portion of the year.
And that's why, well, if to do chip and seal, for all intents and purposes,
Chip and seal is one day.
way quicker.
A asphalt lift for a straight line road without many outages or entrances or mailboxes, things like that, takes 2 days to complete for 1 mile stretch. Because we spend 1 day stockpiling material, windrowing it out with our equalizer to have an even distribution across. And then the second day, the tack truck rolls out, shoots tack on one lane, materials moved over, laid out, all materials shifted across roadway. The other lane is then sprayed, and then it's worked up little by little over the course of a day to get that 1 inch depth and good compaction so it doesn't rut. But it is soft material. I mean, you can tell when a drag tire goes across it on a hot day, especially when it's freshly laid. You will see those depressions, and they will bleed through.
I mean, that's what happens within the city limits too.
Yep. But it takes considerably more time. I mean, the chip sealing, Darren saw us last year on Old 40 when we were scrub sealing it, which is a little bit more time consuming process than a chip seal. And it's when that truck is full, everything's moving for the next 45 minutes roughly until that truck runs out. And in that time, it's covered 1.5 miles of one lane to 2 miles of one lane. And then it takes about 35 minutes to go get refilled if the refill point is close. So you're in and out in a 1 mile roadway, both lanes shot within 2 hours versus closer to 20 hours of working.
And that's where the $60,000-$70,000 a mile of
That's just
labor
seal coating,
comes in.
That's just seal coating. I didn't look up the number for asphalt because we're originally looking at just seal coating roads. Because there's considerable amount of equipment and people out there. You have the chip spreader with 3 individuals minimum on it, 3 rollers, then you have flaggers and traffic control. You have 1 person or 2 people in the distributor truck, and then we usually have the vendor out here with us, and a supervisor in a side-by-side looking up for issues ahead. And then all of your trucks to hook to the chip spreader and go. Minimum of 4 trucks if you're close to your pickup point. So the material part is the cheapest part of this whole equation. The labor and equipment usage is considerably higher. So you already are sharing in the cost of this project by giving the labor and equipment.
So the 3 seals, that pushes it out without a lift.
The county wouldn't touch it till almost year 20.
Yeah. It'd probably maintain itself beyond, I mean, it could be in just fine condition at that point too, even at that point.
Mm-hmm. And if we bring it down to a 2 maintenance, I mean, the proposed petition has 3 maintenances on a 4-year interval, every 4 years, pushing the county out to approximately year 18 to 20. That's well above what we're currently planning for on our county maintenance schedule. So if we
Went just a 2 schedule.
if you did a 2 schedule and
like
you
6 years though, or something instead of doing it.
correct,
So their road will get maintained a little bit more frequently.
mm-hmm.
If we allow for just a 2 schedule, it gets maintained a little less frequently, but it puts it on the county schedule.
about the same time.
And at that point, from a county standpoint, the lift would be the responsibility of the county.
Mm-hmm.
Option 2 sets the road up for success following the county standard. There's a little more cost to the property owners, but it sets the road up on our standard and it's not been left longer before getting that lift of asphalt and leveling course.
And there's only, what, one lot or 2 lots left out there that can be built on? Okay, that's what kind of,
That's it, they're sold. Chances are they'll be sold as a single, because of the value.
This, trying to look forward to other developments. I mean, there's, we heard
It'll
earlier
happen.
this morning. I
it'll
mean,
happen all over, yeah.
I guess I could go with that if, no lift, just if it's a 3 maintenance schedule, it's every 4 years, if it's 3 or a 2 maintenance schedule, if they just wanna pay for 2 schedules, but then it's a 6-year.
6-year.
and that still puts us out 15 years.
Mhm. If it lasts that long,
Okay.
that's gonna be,
Just seal
to
coats,
be,
there's gonna be depressions in the
Yep.
roadway and it's going,
Yeah.
it'll
But I
look
think,
like an asphalt road on top, but down
Right.
to it, it's just a dust
I
control
think
treatment.
that puts it on the homeowners to decide, yes, it's gonna, if it's every 6 years, our road might be a little bit more.
Yeah, if you're just
There
doing
may
seal
be
coats, you
some
want
more
accelerated
imperfections.
maintenance.
They'll just have to kind of live with that decision, whereas if you do it every 4 years, it's maintained just a little bit sooner, and so that way you get to decide as a homeowner what kind of ride you want for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
With just seal coats, you would want to do a more accelerated maintenance cycle on it to keep the base intact, free from moisture.
I mean, if you split the difference at a 5-year, and do something
Yeah.
somewhere there,
Yep.
that still pushes us out, past our 12-year mark of current plan. So, I mean, would you be good with that? If a petition were to come across, we've got one in front of us for 3 maintenances on an accelerated plan. or if another one comes across, or are we okay with doing that if they say, well, we want it in 5 years and a 2 maintenance plan? It's kind of where we're coming down to, or are we saying we really need to go to our standards of what we want to maintain as a county?
Yeah.
Whereas remember, as a county, we're below standard, our own standards on miles of road.
Mhm.
Partly because we've just started our asphalt plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I,
I guess that's why we developed the standard. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yes,
take
I would-
over.
There was no
It's better
plan before
Stick with
Mhm.
it.
that won the commission.
I'd kind of like to stick closer to the, I
Yep.
guess I'd do with 4 and 6. And if they want to do it again, yeah, if they want to do a 4-inch and or concrete, then
I would prefer that. That would free up my staff to spend time on the other roads and projects we're directed to complete. But that is also a considerable cost for the property owners, but
yeah.
that would set them up for a great road.
So
Yes,
you're pushing
yeah, for me, for our commission that would have to approve these, I guess I would say 4 and 6. And again, future commissions, that's 6 years from now, there may be different commissioner, they may take that same petition, and say, no, we'll do 5 or 4 or something, but I think for us, if we wanna, to me, that sticks closer to what we're wanting out of our overall road plan, I think.
Okay.
So you like the option 3 is what you're after.
Option 3 is the easiest for my department. Option 2 is what fits with our county road standard
Yeah.
and asphalt standard. And that puts the cost on the landowners to build up to our county road standard before the county takes over it. Whereas option 1, if we want to put it back onto the asphalt standard, it's already behind the 8 ball because all it has had is seal coats over the first 16 years of its life. And it puts a larger cost on the county then.
Right, but the problem with option 2, though, as we've kind of had that discussion, is that our equipment doesn't necessarily go into those.
We can fit it, we can
areas.
do it, it's gonna take a considerable time to do it. But
And
it's
it
up
cost
to,
us days and stuff, so I don't,
yeah,
I mean, that's,
but if you do option 1 and then put an asphalt lift on it too, we're gonna still be in the same boat with it taking,
yeah, at some point.
but it's also going longer without an asphalt leveling course lift on it.
And there again, option 1, we haven't done a lot of.
Yeah. That's
But we haven't done a lot of any of that.
anything, so.
Mm-hmm.
We've shown that we can do the work, even on unpaved sections where we've magnetized the road by milling in stone to it. Ellis Avenue is a great example. Last fall was the last time we put serrated blades on that roadway. You can still see the grooves in the roadway from when it was worked. That road had asphalt that was milled into it, slightly impervious material. These roads here have just stone magnetized into it. Stone and sand or
I mean, I like the asphalt lift, but is it gonna bite us because there's not enough traffic on there where you get a county road where there's a lot of traffic?
it wouldn't affect us negatively. It
Okay.
it would affect the road. It'd be a positive for the roadway. It would follow county standard for the rest of our roads. Or you just leave it as seal coats only and then do no asphalt with the understanding that this is not an asphalt road.
Then it don't,
Yeah.
It's going to behave differently.
And that's the thing, is it's kind of
looks like asphalt.
the terminology is going to get people confused.
Mhm.
Is it asphalt or is it not? It's going to behave differently and act differently. And it needs to be treated differently.
there we come to our standard again.
Yeah,
That's
but
what-
just because it's different
because
doesn't
it's
mean
different.
bad.
Right,
No,
right.
but expectations, it looks similar to an asphalt road, but
Right.
so expectations are held differently just because of the appearance of it. So we've done a well enough job with reclaiming roads and seal coating them that the forestry department has reached out to us, or me, in the past few weeks to come out and explore our roadways that we've done this to for their own stuff around Cedar Bluff Lake for a low volume seal coated roadway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I'll say I think option one is a viable option for developments to come in and put their money down and on where they're at and improve their areas.
Yeah.
And it has to be noted that this is not a asphalt or blacktop road. It is a seal
It's gonna be
coated road.
Seal coated for the future when the county accepts maintenance, full maintenance of it. I mean, if
And
there-
we may need to adjust our county road standards and because I don't know that we put seal coated roads as a
in the original standards that were developed, there was no seal coated roads because at the time we didn't want to consider it. In the maintenance standards we have, there is an item for seal coated roads based on traffic level.
So-
Where traffic, would make sense to seal coated roadway. All of these developments don't reach that traffic level. This
so
is
we're already going to go above and beyond traffic levels
correct.
or above and beyond standards. So
It's
so
basically-
from that standpoint, we're already exceeding standards.
True.
Seal coat's just a dust preventer. It looks like asphalt, but it just seals the
Mhm.
surface for dust.
You know, it's like you said, south of Ellis on Ellis Avenue. I send a lot of people that direction. Now it's even closer on Reservation and Hilltop Edition up there. Go look at it and see. So these people are going to be
That's what
an example.
That's when you build a base to a roadway. That's
That's right.
what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's very time consuming to do that. Ty, we were out there for a week and a half doing the base for that 1.5 mile stretch, nearly 2 weeks. We had one snow event in the middle that caught us off. So it's close.
But you know, with that being said, there's a lot of these developments that probably will be coming into question that didn't have county road standards adopted before. So I can't say anything on any of the most recent ones.
Ty Wilson, Stonewood North. You show us with three seal coats, $100,000 worth of maintenance. I just checked the math on my end. That buys you 16 years out. One of the things you're discussing is if you go to 2, how do you split that cost for the homeowner because of the lift? That's $33,000 a seal coat. Brendan, what did you just say a 1-inch lift cost? $100,000. If you decide, that's your choice. We're paying for 3 seal coats. If you decide, you put the first one in, that brought us to year 8. If you decide to do a 1-inch lift, we still pick up the 2 seal coats that go on top of that lift. That just split the cost of that lift, more so. Does that make sense, what I just said, financially?
Mhm.
We paid for your seal treatments to go on top of the lift for the next 2 cycles that it needs. And that split the cost of that lift with you. And bought you that's actually bought you more than 8 years because once you put that 1-inch lift on, you don't have to go every 4 years to stay on top of it so much. If you look at the math, how I just looked at it, with us choosing to have 3 seal coats with our particular petition, I'm not talking anybody else's, we can still qualify for option 1 or option 2, depending on how the county chooses to handle it. If it needs the 1-inch lift, you put the 1-inch lift in, we still split the cost with you because we bought 2 more maintenance coats, follow me, as part of our initial agreement.
Yeah, your petition that's in front of us meets both standard, would fall in under either one. It would come back to the county at an earlier time. That's all
It comes back to you full on at 12 years.
Yep.
Instead of 16 years. But either way, option 2, if you wanted to do the 1-inch lift, we would still have split it with you. Our agreement with you will still be met. The money will have already been paid. It leaves you the options, and none of us know this because we're all trying to figure out how to make improvements and figure out what we can do to get rid of the past problems and create a betterment moving forward. But it just, our current petition already gives you a minimum of 8 years out before Brendan or a superintendent has to make that call. Will it continue to hold as it is, or does it have to have this 1-inch lift? If it does, you already have the petition and the finances backing you to go ahead and put the other 2 seal coats on that 1-inch lift, which split the cost of the 1-inch lift if you only wanted to do a seal and a lift on option 2. For us, because we chose to go with 3. And those 3 were split at roughly on his math at $100,000 if you look at your sheet, which is $33,000 a lift.
Let me ask Counselor this, Bill, if this proposed petition comes in front of us with the 3 maintenance treatments of a seal coat, and after, say, 4 years, we're time for the first maintenance, and Brendan says it's time, we would need to do an asphalt lift and not a seal. Even though the funds are there, this petition states for a maintenance of seal coat. Can it be changed without coming back to the commission, or do we have to follow whatever is set forth in the petition?
Off the top of my head, my answer would be you probably have to follow the petition unless the landowners came back and agreed to revise it.
Okay.
I talk to you guys regularly. I'm sure we'll still be friends. The nice part is that some of the language that was put in there was 4 years on or abouts to allow us some leeway to try to make it so everybody can work through whatever we find. Because we've never done this, but we gotta leave it open to try to get through it.
Right.
And that's why I was saying, we've got a project manager or any of the foremen, they can, catch it before it goes really, really bad.
And that's why we put it at, I know it's got a lifetime of 5 to 7.
Right.
We put it at 4 because we wanted to give him, if he's found a problem, get on it right now.
That's right.
Well, that's where, okay, if we go, just initial gut feeling of looking at these petitions, if they come in and come across and it's stated as within a 4-year period of this treatment, without coming back in front of another commission and having another commission reopen this and tear into it and try and do this, try and make this stuff work or flexible going forward. And again, we can't tie ourselves to future commissions or tie future commission hands, but this kind of does.
See, the next commission may say, tear it out. We don't know.
I wouldn't want to be on that commission.
I wouldn't either, but it could happen.
It could.
I believe that's why when we had to go back and forth with the attorneys, because we cannot hold future commissions accountable.
Mhm.
The best language he could come up with is to say it is the intent of this commission to not only do right by you guys to maintain your standard, but to do right by the people who just invested heavily into getting this thing upgraded.
So I guess would our intent be that this become an asphalt road on the asphalt program or a seal coat road as petitioned by homeowners?
No, we've got 2 different standards, you know what?
Yeah, and that's what we were just discussing.
I mean, we just went from,
Yep.
we're almost good to go to almost start completely over, and I'm going, I got 1.5 years invested in this, and you do not want me blowing your phone up for another 1.5 years going, okay, how many times are we gonna change? We've gotta come to something, because there are other people that are doing the same as us that are going, we've been fighting with this forever, we all gotta come together to a common ground and just get some things taken care of.
Just put it on our asphalt plan, like Mr. Burgess said, let's put it on there and,
But to be on our asphalt plan,
Yeah.
it needs to have a lift in there.
It has to have that lift.
Our
But it-
option does
Back to the-
provide to split that
Right.
cost with you, straight up, if you look at just the math.
Right, and that's,
And I know he is. He's
that's
over
for
there
that,
running numbers
that
in
is
his
for
head.
your petition and your petition only. I
Right.
guess the greater conversation is, you know, we've had other people stand up here and say they want to do something different.
Mhm.
I don't-
So the question is, you know, we're trying to set our own standards. Are we going to have a seal coated road standard that we abide by and treat it as a seal coated road? Or are we gonna make every road become an asphalt road? And if we make
Which they
every
can
road become an
that's
asphalt,
kinda My thing, that's why we keep coming back. I mean, the initial is that we talked about doing those lifts, but we kind of went away from that just because we're not sure we can do that kind of work within those regions. I know, you know, curvy roads, small roads, whatever. So that's where I think it can be a seal coat thing, but once it's through their program, then it would be on the county to do the lift ultimately. And that's why I think if we do 3 seal coats as it's in the current petition, it's every 4 years, they get a little bit more, then it's 16 years before it comes on us. If they don't want to do 3 seal coats, they want to save themselves some money, then it's on a 6-year plan. And it's still 12 years out before it comes to the county. And at that point, yes, it's treated as a sealed coat road while the subdivisions are on there, but I think then it needs to really, but that's future commission stuff. I think it needs to go on a thing, which then it would be lift. But to try to put the lift in here, I mean, that's what we were discussing, but then it seems like that's not, I mean, it's, how do you tie that lift in? 1, can we actually do it? And 2, do we tie that cost to those homeowners who may not really, what they're really wanting is just
the seal coat.
a seal coat. So,
And the cheaper is not better.
Well, that's why
It
I
doesn't
say
mean it's worse
ours-
either.
It's not,
Yeah.
it could not be worse.
and these are
either, but-
resident, I mean, it's not heavy traffic. It's usually, these are residential areas that are just going
Right.
to school and home and work. And so I think we don't know how this is all gonna maintain. I know, Brandon, that's your job to know how these roads work, but to me, that seems like they're not that heavily traveled. Yes, will they have some maintenance issues? Sure, but they should, if you do a seal coat, it should maintain itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, that, are you okay with going with the sealed coated road option as option 1? And we have that in our,
yeah, and that's,
Okay.
you know, I'm okay with it. If it's a 3 maintenance, it's 4 years, and if it's a 2 maintenance, then it's a
a 6.
6 year.
Sorry. Brent McKay, for just seal coats alone, I'd recommend going before 6 years out. If you're gonna do the lift to give it some strength, that pushing it to that 6 years is fine. Just, but could it make it 6, 7 years? It can, but that's putting it on the ragged edge of where it's gonna start being too far gone for just seal coats alone.
I think this is, if I weigh in here for a second, because it's going all over the place, but
Mhm.
I think what you're trying to do is have the best outcome. And when we've had discussions many times in the county, cheapest is not always the best, and you're trying to weigh out an option that you're trying to find the cheapest, and you're understanding in a hard way that it's not the best way to do it. And that is by doing the seal coats. It's the cheapest option. It's the most likely option to fail. It's not going to meet our standards. We don't have a standard for that. And we'd have to go back and recreate this petition. And I would suggest that the petition matches as close to what our intention was without any gray area, because if Ty Wilson moves 2 years from now, what's the new interpretation of what may or may not be done based on a lot of flexibility? I think that's going to set up the landowners as well as the county commission to be on multiple pages. So being as clear and accurate as what they want to do within their petition needs to be in there, and it needs to be included as an asphalt lift or a seal coat project. If it's a seal coat project, we need to, before the petition can be granted and to move forward, we're gonna have to create a standard. Because we can't say that we're going to maintain a seal coat standard if we have no standard on the petition. So that would put the petition back, because the way the petition states is that it will be maintained to the improvement standards as part of the regular county asphalt maintenance program, which would include a lift with a seal coat at 6 years and then a seal coat at year 12. So that would be the standard that that the current petition stands for after whatever you decide to do to begin with. So, as Brendan said multiple times, trying to do the seal coats, leaving you at a higher percentage of the road failing and not being a good investment. And by the time that happens, if you decrease the maintenance at year 6 or whatever it may be, it's even more likely that the road could be failing. Now, we don't have the evidence to show that because this is new, but the more you decrease that maintenance, the higher the probability that the road's going to fail. And the landowners, Ty will be calling you more often because the road's not working out the way it was intended. So,
Not Ty, but other people.
or everybody.
Right.
That's why that division come to us, subdivision for a good long lasting road.
From what I see, if we need to reconfigure the language in our petition to meet option number 2, we still stay within the guidelines and the finances to split the cost of that lift. If he so chooses, he needs to do that. Because we have already paid for $60-some thousand worth of seal coats on the backside that you would essentially still have in there. You just split the cost of your second session lift, as you've been discussing, which does make it fall exactly in line with your current standard. It creates more work for Brendan, I get it, but I'm over here asking him ultimately what's best for him. Because regardless of what we all decide at the end of the day, my friend here's stuck with having to take care of this and try to keep us all happy. And I don't want to put him in a bad spot at the end of this.
Yeah, and I understand, and I guess that's where I'm coming back to. Is it we've already removed 5 miles of asphalt road off of our books in the past couple of years. Is it our intent, if developments come in, to add to our asphalt plan? That's the bottom line. Do we want to add to the asphalt plan, or would it be better off to add a sealed road standard and be able to maintain that? Because we know what'll happen with the asphalt.
I think that also, if you were to go that route, it makes it clearer for the landowners to know what they're petitioning into, because right now, if you say we're going, it's our intention to do the asphalt maintenance plan, they would know approximately every 6 years it's either going to get seal coated or it's going to get a lift.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you just create a whole new standard that says it's just seal coat and they enter into an agreement, they know that every 6 years or 5 or 4, whatever that's maintenance plan is going to be developed at, it could be every 4 years it'll get a seal coat, but no asphalt lift.
Which is a lot easier for Brendan to maintain the seal coated road.
And also kind of sets the expectation that it's a different level of road. It's more dust control. It's not going to have lift. It's going to be less expensive. It's going to be a different type of road than.
It is going to be different than asphalt.
My question is, can you set it so you can go either direction? I'm just saying, because like for me, the group of people I'm representing, we're fortunate enough to be standing here and we can go with number 1 or number 2.
Well, that's what we can, just by basically leaving the options as they are, right? I mean, if it's a 3 maintenance schedule, it's just seal coats, it's on the seal coat plan. If they come to us and say, no, we want an asphalt road, we want that, then you're on a 2 maintenance schedule plan, and you're essentially paying to get onto the asphalt plan.
Correct. If you went with option one, as it's stated, I scrolled down here. Option one, we would have to change their petition that, first off, you need to decide is the initial and 2 additional maintenance or the initial and 3 additional maintenance, all seal coats with the intent of after the CID is expired to stay on a sealed coat maintenance plan. Or option 2, your initial work plus a 6-year lift and treatment followed up with the intention of being on our asphalt maintenance plan. So if the commission wants to move forward and not have seal coated roads, Brendan needs to follow up with a seal coated, updated our road maintenance plan to include the definitions and maintenance schedules, et cetera, of what a sealed road would be without asphalt lifts and where they may be accepted. And, you know, I'm not going to speak to all that. If the commission is acceptable to that, I would suggest that Brendan would create or update the standards so that way when Ty goes back to their landowners, they know what they're entering into an agreement with, that it's forever the intention to stay a seal code road. And that way, 10 years from now, we don't have this discussion of one homeowner saying, well, we were going to have asphalt, this ain't an asphalt road, where it was not the intention with this CID from the commission to stay a seal coated road.
Well, I think I think we need to actually probably personally update to our county standards to include a sealed coated standard as an option. Because if we have other developments come in and say, this is our option that we'd like to choose, I think that we need to look to at least have that. And then regarding Ty's plan, I think we let it up to their option that if they want to be on the asphalt plan, as it's stated, as their petition is stated, then we need to look at that, you know, as we're putting more asphalt roads onto our system. This is, option 2 is a way to increase our asphalt road miles. And is that, I guess, is that our intent as this commission sits today?
I guess from my standpoint, if it's set there, if it's put into, if it meets that standard, then I guess I'm good with the county accepting it, because it's also then on those homeowners who also intended to be on the asphalt plan and they're county taxpayers. So I think it at that point makes sense that it's on the county's asphalt plan.
Or do you put option 4 in there and just seal coat only?
Well, that would be really option 1.
Yeah,
Right,
I wanna just
but
seal
it's
coat.
got in there, lift with, you know, asphalt lift in the parentheses. That's
Yeah.
what's kind of.
Okay.
I think you'd have to take that.
Yeah,
out.
we could remove
Take
that.
that out. 'Cause like you said before, the other subdivisions are gonna come and they're gonna,
Everybody's going to be different.
they're gonna be.
Everybody's going to want something
Then you
different
have
or
an
look at
option to
something
be a
different.
Seal coat road, you have an option to put yourself on the asphalt plan, or which would be option 2 or 3, essentially.
Mhm.
So to clarify, option 1
Mhm.
with an additional 2 or 3 year, or additional 2 or 3 maintenance minimum.
I think 2.
So they're seal coating it initially.
Year 1, year 5, and year 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then 6 years after that, which would be year 15,
The
the county would do a seal coat.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's still a seal coat.
And it'll stay a seal
plan,
coat road.
It would stay
but
a
now
sealed
it's on the
coat.
county's
Seal coat
dollar.
plan that Brendan will come before a future commission with an updated road standards to create what a seal coated road standard should look like.
Mhm.
That's option 1.
Correct.
Year 1,
Sorry.
year 1 is the initial work with the double seal coat. Year 5, 4 years out, will be a seal coat. You're not on in the CID. Year
Mhm.
9 is a seal coat on the CID. And then it'll fall onto the regular county maintenance plan for sealed coat roads. If that's 4 years or 5 years, Brendan will come out, but that next one would be on the county's dime to continue to seal coat it. And then their petition would essentially be correct, except for the verbiage of the intention of the asphalt maintenance plan. It would stay on an asphalt seal coat plan.
Correct.
And
So Ty's petition would be correct. They would,
minus that piece.
if they would subtract the piece of the asphalt,
Yes, and the
they would be
2/3
fine.
and the 75%.
Correct.
Okay, so that's option one. 1 + 2 maintenance coats.
Is our
Initial
stand,
plus
is
two,
our
yes,
standard.
minimum.
Correct.
Okay, so then, you get that, Bobby, for the notes? Year one,
Talk to you afterwards.
just for future records, if somebody watches this commission meeting 12 years from now, the initial coat, the initial work would be year one, part of the petition, that they would pay for the initial double seal coat. 4 years later would be a seal coat. That would be year 5. 4 years after that, year 9, as part of the CID, would be a seal coat. And then to be determined after that, whether it's 4, 5, 6 years based on Brendan's new standard, it would become on the county's seal coat maintenance plan. On the county's taxpayer dollars.
That would be correct.
Seal coat only.
Seal coat.
Seal coat only.
No
No
asphalt.
lift.
That's right.
You got that, Bobby? Okay, so then option 2 is essentially year 1 gets a double seal coat with the initial prep work. This is different from Ty's petition. Year 1 would get the initial seal coat, double seal coat, and then 4 years later, so year 5, it would get an asphalt lift, 1-inch asphalt lift with a seal coat. And then 6 years after that, so now we're looking at year 11, the county would be paying for a seal coat.
Yeah.
And then it would stay on
And
the
then
asphalt.
then it would be on the asphalt
6
plan.
years after that would be due for its next lift. But
So that would be year 18 would be the largest investment for the county on this, on the asphalt lift. And then option 3 stays the same as if they do an hot mix asphalt or something more extravagant.
Mm-hmm.
So then going back to the Stoneward North edition, their CID petition is essentially correct. We'll change the verbiage that, as long as you all want to stay with the same verbiage, that you want to stay on the asphalt.
I'm gonna let him tell me what is absolutely best for us, because we already have to change some names due to property being sold. It ain't gonna hurt us to change some verbiage on our end. I'm gonna let Brendan tell me what is best for us. He doesn't wanna fail, and we do not wanna fail.
So the biggest things for you all to discuss and then get it with Dominic and Gilmore Bell is a 2/3 majority. That was decided. The 75% of the property is developed, which it already is, so those are easy. And then the change, if they decide, if you want to stay on the 3 seal coats and a seal coat maintenance plan, or if they want to switch it to the option 2 and go on the asphalt maintenance plan in the future, and that will be determined for
Okay.
them. They get that done, they'll bring that petition back from Gilmore and Bell with what they want to do, and then Brendan will also come back with an asphalt or a seal coat plan on the maintenance agreement.
Okay. So before we give them, I mean, he can take it and run with it now as he chooses, but I guess I will go to my fellow commissioners. Is it our intention as a commission to add in the future miles of asphalt roads to our system?
I'll say yes.
It will be because, like you say, you're gonna take a grader off of that road. And it should be able to go elsewhere and do maintenance where we
But-
need it.
But I'm saying asphalt, because
Right.
you're gonna take the grader off of a seal coated road as well. So is it our intention to create more asphalt miles? So if an asphalt road comes up, it will be accepted. Okay.
We've added 2 miles last year, and we're adding a half mile this upcoming year with Reservation Road. And then with this, potentially another mile up on 270, so the information I've been given, we are adding miles back back to our asphalt.
That's why I wanted to clarify before the petition comes in front of us, so that way everybody knows what our intention is that we are okay with that.
And that's why the subdivisions are coming to us, because they want improvement, they want asphalt.
And we're going to also create with this a new standard as a seal coat standard.
Mhm.
Okay.
Clear as mud.
I'll talk to you later to make sure I get.
That's why I verified it, because Bobby's gonna put it in the notes and it's on the record for
On
the
our end, we
videos.
already knew what math we were gonna work with. You guys came in and did a great job and came in under it. That just made everybody even that much happier. If we have to change the verbiage and switch it to 2, because he tells me that's what's best for us and it stays within that financial range, we don't care. We're in this to win, and we're in this to try to make sure that it is not a failure on your guys' behalf.
Okay.
Making an asphalt road would be what's best for the road system.
Cause 270th, what are we just now?
It's gonna be asphalt.
It's, yeah, so,
It's not gonna just be seal coats.
yeah.
So you'll have initial double treatment, just like Catherine Road has.
Yeah.
Like Freaky Bond Road has, but it's gonna get asphalt lifts on it. It's
And the-
not just gonna be a seal coat.
Yeah.
Only.
And their CID petition only includes the initial seal, double seal coat of 270th. Everything after that, whatever the commission would be, which, as Brendan just stated, 6 or 7 years from now, it would get a 1-inch lift with the seal coat.
So if they go on that plan, they would get the lift at the same time, essentially.
Correct.
Technically, it would all fall in place.
All-
I would just double up on the poor guy here that week.
Okay.
So. Okay. Clear.
Okay. Yeah.
But at least you guys are looking at giving it options all the way around. So people have an entry point, they have a mid-level, or you can just go for the sky and buy concrete.
I hope for guys.
Yes.
Me too. I hope it's in your budget.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I guess we've got it figured out now. Okay.
Okay, I will,
You're gonna need
I'll
to
be
change a
on
little
the
bit of
agenda
verbiage, but
within a week or two, and we will rediscuss a petition as to however it gets rewrote, or if he tells me to stick with what we have and he can work it through, we'll just get the petition signed and bring it forth.
okay.
I don't think that part of this is gonna be hard to do. It's just a matter of getting the correct verbiage at the last minute.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else, gentlemen?
Thanks, Doug.
I think so.
Thank you.
We're good.
Okay. 2026 Ellis County Commission scholarships, Darren?
As the commission has discussed over the budget session last year for the 2026 budget, some commission suggestions were to relook at the scholarships that the commission awards. You wanted to do this after a couple years of the program to see how it was reviewed and with the feedback that you got, and trying to have individual conversations with the commission and come up with some type of solution to move forward. The agenda kind of captures those changes where several things would go into place. The commission currently had $10,000 a year set aside, and we would split that in between the Hayes, Ellis, Victoria, and TMP schools with a certain amount of scholarships kind of equally distributed amongst them. And it would be open to all county residents to try to scale that back. And then with the concerns of the public seeing that the public taxpayer dollars were used that for property tax, we changed that plan, and now it's just sales tax that is being used to fund that program. In 2026, the commission approved to reduce that amount from $10,000 down to $5,000 a year, and then go back to the original intent of the suggestion from the commission is just to use this for a recruitment and retention tool for Ellis County employees and for their family members to be able to eligible for this scholarship, and not to the general senior student population of all the schools. So before you today is the decision for you to make is how you would like to proceed with that. I know there's some different opinions with the commission on how to proceed. And so I guess The plan set forth is $5,000, directly only open to Ellis County seniors in a school in Ellis County, going to a school in Ellis County, meaning Fort Hays Tech, North Central, Fort Hays State University, or the Hare Academy, and only be eligible to the family members of Ellis County employees. Like I said, I tried to capture.
That captures my thoughts pretty well. That we use it as a recruitment tool mostly for our employees and keep within that scope. I guess is kind of where I'm at.
So the budget's 5,000, but that doesn't mean we'd necessarily give out the 5,000, or if we only have 3, would we give them each? I can't do the math in my head, whatever that is, 1,600, or would we just maintain it as 1,000 for 3?
I think for just keeping it the same every single year, if you have 3 that actually submit an application and they get reviewed and they meet the qualifications to be eligible for the award, you just keep it at $1,000 and not split the 5,000 up equally between the 3. That way, just say next year, and I have no idea. That's the whole unknown about this is you have no idea, no matter how you open this up, is how many are going to be eligible and apply. Whereas next year, this year you could have 3, next year you could have 6. But you know, if they meet the eligible requirements and we have 6, I guess the overall, if the panel that is set aside also in the commission agenda for this year, if they review them and approve them, they would get that scholarship.
And what if there is nobody that applies for any of them?
And then it would not, no money would be spent.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mike Worth, just make a little suggestion on this particular item. The college does this for their employees. If you're employed with the college for, I forgot how many years you have to stay committed as an employee to the college. The college will offset part of, like, if your child is going to school, they're going to offset part of that education cost. I don't know if this would be a particular item that might lure some younger guys into working for, like, county road and bridge, to just say, hey, if you commit with us for more than whatever 5 years, and you've got a college age kid that's willing to go to college or VOTEC in Ellis County, that we will help to offset part of your education fees. Just a suggestion.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Ellis County used to have a program like that for tuition reimbursement for in the collective bargaining agreements that were with the union several years ago. That were, I don't remember what year that was, about 2017. And when we exited out of the collective bargaining agreements, that was a benefit that was no longer given to the employees, which is kind of where this came back from, is offering the scholarships is for the students of county employees' families.
So very, very similar situation to what Mr. Worth described here.
Close, yeah. And Mr. Worth's correct. I think if you're an employee of Fort Hays State, I think their families' tuitions, I think, are almost completely waived. I don't want to be certain for that, but I'm pretty sure that their students get to go to Fort Hays for next to nothing for tuition purposes.
Okay.
In the city of Hays, because Mr. Jeter asked me yesterday, the city of Hays, I think, allocates $100,000 a year that goes into a pot with Fort Hays State, and that money is then distributed out for, I believe, students in Ellis County that stay on premise or on site at Fort Hays State to give them a reduction in their housing fees.
Okay.
Is this still a renewable one?
The current one is a 1-year renewable option. If they meet the standards they remain eligible at school. And that's a simple process that we've done the last 2 years. We just contact the school's registrar's office and ensure that they are maintaining eligibility for school. That means they are enrolled, that they are meeting their class GPA requirements to maintain an eligible student.
Mhm. Like I said, I like the idea of keeping it as a recruitment and an employee benefit, and somewhat limiting the scope of two employees for that, rather than opening it up to general public, and utilizing the entire fund. If we don't use the fund, roll it over, and then we have it the following year.
I think that works for me at this point. I don't have any argument against that.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion or anything, just consensus from the agenda. That's the way you would like us to proceed. We would update the county website and then we wouldn't do this awards banquets at the schools any longer because it's not open for the general purpose. And as stated in the agenda item, if the commission is also approval of having our HR director, our health director, and our county sheriff to be the review panel, we'll update the information. We'll get it sent out to the county employees within the next week or so. And that way any employees, family that wants to apply can do so.
Okay. And employees have to be employed. Do they have to be employed a year, or is there a certain time?
The current one was the employee had to be here for a year.
Okay.
And it is only eligible for high school seniors currently. And then they have to be going to either, like I say, Fort Hays Tech or Central or Hays Academy of Hair Design.
Okay.
So if they go to K-State, KU, or Colorado State University, they would not be eligible.
Okay.
With the intention, same type of application, same type of questions, is that their preference would be given to those that are trying to have jobs in Ellis County. Road engineers, civil engineers, mechanics, like out at NCK, nursing, a lot of the jobs that Ellis County has, and those students would get that preference if there's had to be a choice over one or the other.
Okay.
So that kind of.
And that also capture Mr.
Yep.
Worst.
Like Mr. Worst said. Yep.
Might be able to capture a high school senior that wants to become a mechanic and gets a scholarship and then is appreciative of the county and then might be able to come work for the county if we have an open position.
And I think that was our initial thought process, and I think we kind of lost a little bit of focus on it. But I think this works good for us. I'm good with it. They all shook their head too.
Okay, county administrator report.
I have nothing today.
Okay. Okay, commissioners? Any report?
I don't have any report this time.
Okay. I had a discussion with the residents out at on Wheatland Drive and NCK Tech last night, and as we all know, that road was found not to be within our road system, and I think they've come up with some ideas on how to handle that, and everybody's willing to work and go forward on that. So that's all I have.
Okay, I did, along with Commissioner Burgess, attend the Fort Hays Tech North Central, which was, I'm just gonna get back to Mr. Worth when the spokesperson up at the podium, was asking, okay, let's hear from the electricians, let's hear from HVAC, let's hear from, the plumbing side of it. I don't know about Michael, but I was impressed with all the kids that are getting into that with a hands-on thing. So good for that. Then Also, I went to a city work session. And then I also want to thank one of the boards that I'm on, the FFA alumni. We had an excellent banquet last Saturday, so thanks to that. All the supporters in Hayes. The economy's pretty soft, but everybody was willing to donate something. And then the Shenshin meeting, I was there last night. I guess I need to talk to Mr. Jeter. I talked to Darren about it a little bit. They're wanting to acquire that small piece of property finally after a few years, and now they want to know if it can be done before May 2nd. So I said, we waited all these years, but it is what it is. It just decided to sink in. And then other than that, everybody have a good, happy Valentine's. Take your sweetheart out and have a good time. That's all I have. Adjournment at 10:35.
You didn't finish. What did you attend?